So this quick little video is a simple way to help improve your balance. So a little conversation that I was involved in the other day, somebody said they were wanting to improve their balance and they bought themselves a balance board to stand on to help improve how they balanced on this wobbly, unstable surface. So I have my thoughts about that, and also I just like when you're walking around, you're not really walking around on an unstable surface, so it's kind of like it's a way of trying to get things to clench, I suppose. When you're standing on an unstable surface, most people will kind of clench their jaw, hold their breath and tighten up their shoulders, and which kind of down regulates what's going on in their core and in their back, and makes balance a little bit worse. So don't go and get yourself a balance board, but try this instead. So the balance comes from your inner ear, your vestibular system. And there's three little canals that are inside your inner ear. There's a horizontal one, and there's an anterior and a posterior. So they're at 90-degree angles with each other. And if there's issues with your inner ear, there'll be issues with the vestibular system and with your balance. And the eyes and the ears, how they talk to each other. So this is kind of like a quick little way of trying to get this all to balance out. So it helps your balance as you're walking, because when you walk, your head will move, your eyes will see different things, you're looking around you, somebody says something, you turn around, you lose your footing, and it's all to do with your vision and what you're hearing, and not so much about how you're trying to balance on a wobbly surface. Okay, so I'm going to use my thumb. So if you take, you can use a pencil or a pen, and if you take it out in front of you and you look at one point, so I've got a little mark on the top of my thumb there, just below the nail. So that's going to be my mark I'm going to look at. So I'm going to keep my head still. I'm going to take my arm out to the side. So you will lose sight of my arm, but I'm going to make sure you don't hold your breath. And I'm just going to go out as far as I can go, that I can still see it, and then come back. So both my eyes are following that mark. So you want to start off with 5 repetitions. And you can work your way up to 10, but don't think that you've got to start with a high amount. But if your shoulder's sore, then only do 2 or 3 repetitions. And then I'm going to turn it round and go up. I'm not moving my head, and if you're not sure if you're moving your head or not, you can put your other thumb here and your finger on your jaw, and just to be sure that you're not moving your head. And then go down. And if you feel dizzy or a little bit sick, then make it slower and don't do so many. Because if you feel a little bit dizzy, you'll start to hold your breath and clench your jaw, and then that will just make things worse. So I'm on a diagonal now. And then I'm going to turn it to go down on the diagonal. It's a little bit trickier. And just my eyes doing the movements. I'm keeping my head still. And then obviously you're going to do the other side. Okay, so this hand can stay here, on your thumb on your chest bone, index finger on your jaw, to make sure that you don't move your head, because on one side you might turn your head a little bit more than the other. So it's trickier for me on my left side. I notice that I can't see as well going that way. And there's not like, oh, you must look that way first and then do this way. But there's just all these different lines of moving, going up and down, side to side on the horizontal, and then going on the diagonal. Make sure you don't hold your breath. And then I'm going to go down on that diagonal. So that's much easier on that side than it is on my bottom right side, which was harder. And then come back to the middle. Okay, so that's one way of trying to help your vision and your vestibular system balance itself out. There's lots of other ways of things you can do with your thumbs. I'll do another video for you, but that's the first one. Happy practicing.